Hello everyone, thanks guys for coming. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to program color snake onto your calculator. So this is actually a pretty big feat that I've accomplished. I actually didn't even think about, snake being colorful until one of you guys commented saying, "Hey, can you make snake in color?" I'm like, "Okay, let me think about that." And little did I know that was actually very possible. It was way easier than I thought it was going to be. It took me a few hours to try to figure it out, like all of the colors and the graphics and the matrices and all that. But ultimately, this program I'm about to show you guys is a result of everything I've tried for the last few days regarding Color Snake. I'm really excited to show you guys, how to type in the source code. I'm going to have the source code in the description along with a download. And also, if you guys have any issues or anything, post them in the comments. Most likely, before you post any issues in the comments, make sure you triple check your source code, because I know that a lot of you guys have one small typo in your source code and it's game over. Worst case scenario, just download it to the calculator and then it'll work that way. But anyway, here goes nothing. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like, and then we're going to go ahead and start programming the actual source code. So here we go. So I'm going to press my program button, and it's right there. I called it CE Snake 1. I'm going to press enter. And basically, higher is slower. So I'm just going to say 0 because I want it to go as fast as you need it to. And I'm going to press enter. Here we go. It's drawing and there we go. It's going pretty fast. Oh my goodness, that's going pretty fast. But here we go. This is snake right here. The green is obviously the snake, and then the red are obviously the apples. And then the blue is just like a laser grid. So if you hit any of the blue, you actually will die. One other thing you guys may notice is that basically it's a square on the actual calculator. The reason why it's a square is because matrix values can only go up. A matrix array can only go up to 20 by 20. And the screen is bigger than 20 by 20. So I actually had to kind of cut down the screen a little bit. So I put those big blue borders on the end. For some reason, the calculator won't let you make a matrix bigger than 20 by 20 or 400 cells. But regardless, this is Snake. I'm going to show you guys how to program this right now. So let's go ahead and we're going to make a new program. You guys are going to be pressing that PRGM button right here. And you guys are going to be scrolling over to the new. And you guys are going to press enter on create new. Right after that, you're just going to name it. I'm naming mine Snake CE. It's standing for Snake Color Edition. So go ahead and press enter. And we're going to go ahead and program the first line. And my favorite line to ever program in any program is the clear home command. So basically, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to press program right here to open up the program commands. We're going to scroll over to I/O, and we're going to scroll down to number 8, clear home. Press enter, and there it is. There's the clear home command. So now press enter. You successfully made your first line. Now we're going to go to the next line. Now we're going to be using a display command. So press program, scroll over to I/O, scroll down to number 3, press enter. That stands for display, and we're going to display quotes. So press second alpha, and then press the plus key. And that basically has quotes. And now we're also in alpha lock. So we're going to say higher is slower. So higher is slower. There we go. Now press enter. Whenever you press enter, it kicks you out of alpha lock, which is kind of convenient. And you don't even need to have ending quotes on the actual thing, because whenever a line ends in programming, it automatically puts on any quotes by itself. It puts on any quotes, any parentheses, and anything else that kind of you need for like a mathematical equation or a command. It basically kind of like puts it on there for you. Our next line is going to be an input command. So it's going to be program, scroll over to IO, and it's input. And we're going to be doing quotes again. And we're going to say speed. And we're going to do colon, which is press the dot key. So like the point key at the very bottom of the calculator. That's colon. And then we're going to actually have to display ending quotes, because the input command, you need that. And then press the comma. And the comma is right above the 7 key right here. Press that. And we're going to say Z. So press alpha and then the number 2, and that actually says Z. So basically, whatever number you input, it's actually going to store that into the variable Z in the calculator. The calculator has, you can store anything from A through Z, hence why you see all of those little green letters. Those are actually all variables for programming. And right now we're using Z for the speed. So now our next line is going to be clear draw. So what we're going to do, we're not going to be pressing the program button. We're going to be pressing second program. So press second and then program. And you see that blue word that says draw right there. That actually enables the draw screen. So now we're going to press enter on clear draw. And what that does is it actually clears the draw screen. The draw screen is also the same as the graph screen. So whenever you guys type in an equation for algebra, geometry, trigonometry, algebra 2, calculus, pre-calculus, any of those subjects in math class, even in chemistry and physics, I actually had to use my graph. And basically, if you press the graph button right here, I'm not going to press it because I want to stay in the editor. But if you press it, you're going to see the actual graph screen. And, you know, it has like an X and a Y axis. And that's what that screen is. We're going to be using the graph screen for this program. So press enter. Now we're going to be using a really interesting command. It's called store GBD. So we're going to actually go to format. So press second zoom. Now we're in format. Actually, I lied. We are going to be going to, I'm pretty sure it's under the draw command. So press second program. And yes, it's under store. And we're going to store GBD. What that does is it actually stores the values of the entire graph settings. I actually have no idea what GBD stands for. Post in the comments if you're hearing this. But anyway, that basically stores all of the settings for the graph screen. So at the end of the program, we're going to recall those settings because we're actually going to be changing the graph settings. And let's say you're playing Snake and you need to use the graph. If we don't have this command, you are going to be stuck with a crappy graph screen. And your math teacher is going to be like, what is wrong with your graph? So we're using that right there. And we're going to store it into GBD0. So just type in 0. Now press enter. The next thing we're going to be doing is turning the axes off. So we're going to be going to second zoom, which is format. And we're going to scroll down to axes off and press enter. Now press enter again. And now we are going to be turning the background on to number 12. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to press second zoom, and that's format again. We're going to be turning it on right there. And we're going to be turning it on to number 12. Number 12, that is the black screen. You guys can actually choose whatever number you want. I'm just using 12 to make it look really clean. Press enter. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be storing, we're going to be setting the graph. We're going to be setting the graph dimensions now. So press 0. And then we're going to store. And if you guys are wondering, the store key is right above the on key right there. So you see that store right there. So that's the actual store key. Let me move this pencil. I got this, this pencil holder thing. Where am I going to put that? I'll just put it. And then I got these really weird stale Oreos. I totally forgot about them. And then they just stayed there. And I'm like, Oreos? What? Anyway, though, so let's see if that... Okay, there we go. Now you guys can actually see the calculator now. So we're going to be storing 0 into the X-min. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be pressing vars right here. You see the vars button next to program. You're going to press that, and we're going to press enter on window, and X-min, press enter. So now, basically, the graph dimension, the minimum for X is 0. Press enter. And now we're going to be storing 0 into ymin, so 0 store, press vars, enter, and scroll down to ymin. There we go. So now 0, basically the default for the graph is -10, 10, -10, 10. We're actually changing xmin and ymin to 0 from -10. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be pressing 0 again, and we're going to, not 0, my bad. We're going to be doing 30, store that into x max. So press vars, press enter on window, and then we're going to scroll down to number 2, press enter. And then now we're going to store 20 into ymax. So 20 store vars enter ymax. There we go. So that basically sets the dimensions of our actual game. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to be displaying, if you guys saw earlier in the video, we're going to be displaying those blue squares as the border. We're going to be displaying the border now. So now we're going to use the for loop. So press program and scroll down to number 4, and that stands for 4, surprisingly. And we're going to say f, comma, 0, comma, 30. All right, press enter. Now we're going to be using a command. It's called point on. So we're going to be press second program. All right, scroll over to point and press enter. That stands for point on. And we're going to say f, comma, 0, comma, 2, comma. And then the last thing is we're going to be pressing program and scroll over to color and press enter on blue. I'm using blue for the borders. You can actually choose whatever color you want. All right. And basically what this does is it actually, it turns on points. And the number 2, that's actually the point for the square. If that number was like 1, it would be like more like a dot. And then the 0 is the dimension. So it's going to be displaying so f and 0, that's x and y. So basically the for loop, it's going to be basically displaying a bunch of squares on the bottom of the screen. Yeah, that's basically what it does. The next thing is we're going to be doing the same exact thing. So we're actually going to copy the line. So you're going to press second graph. Oh God. Don't do that. Please do not do that. Go back into the editor. Scroll down to Snake CE. Okay, press alpha graph. And we're going to, so hover over the P on point on. Okay, press alpha graph. And we are going to copy the line right here. Press enter. And then we're going to be pasting it. So now press alpha graph and scroll down to paste line below. All right. And we can delete this by pressing del. We are going to be turning, let's see, the 0 into a 20. So press second del right here. Second del, now we're in insert mode, and press the number 2. And then now press, now you can basically press the down arrow to exit out of the mode you were in. So now point F 20. So that not only is going to display squares at the bottom of the screen, but it's also going to display squares at the top of the screen too. All right. And then now we're going to put an end to the for loop. So press program, scroll down to number 7, and right there. All right, press enter. If you guys are noticing, this is not an easy task. I should have warned you guys at the beginning of the video. I'm probably going to put something in. It's not easy. This is 100 lines. This program is 100 lines. It's not easy. So if you guys are willing to sit down for an hour or 2 trying to figure out this program, go ahead. You know, you guys can figure it out. And like I said, source code's in description, downloads in description if you guys don't want to program the whole thing in your calculator. All right. So now we're going to be, let's see, I'm looking on my computer here. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're on line 16. And line 16 is going to be a for line again. So we're going to be pressing program, scroll down to number 4, press enter. And we're going to say f, comma, 0, comma, 5. Okay, so that's going to, this for loop is going to repeat 5 times. And then now we're going to press 4 again. So we're going to put another for command on. We're going to say h, comma, 0, comma, 20. So now this for loop is repeating 20 times. Good job, if you guys were thinking that. All right. And then now we're going to be saying point on. So press second program. All right. Scroll over to points, press enter on point on. And we are going to say F, comma, H, comma, 2, comma, blue. So press program, scroll over to color, press enter on blue. And if you guys have noticed, if you guys actually do notice, F and H, that's the same variables for the for loop. So we're basically utilizing the 4 variables to make the points. Pretty interesting stuff for sure. All right. So now the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be making an end command. So press program. Oh, hang on. Yep, press program and then press 7, press enter, and one more end command. Program 7, enter. There. Now we got 2 end commands on there. All right, now I'm trying to not lose my spot in the source code here. All right, so now we are going to be, now we're on line number 21. We're going to be saying for again. Man, so many for loops. You guys are probably going to be sick of them by the end of the video. We're going to say f, comma, 25, comma, 30. Press enter. And then we're going to be doing another for loop. So program, you guys are going to be like, oh my God, I hate for loops now. H, but for loops are really good for graphics, at least on the calculator. 0, comma, 20. All right, press enter. And we're going to say point on, so press second program. And then scroll over to points and press enter on point on. And we're going to say F, comma, H, oops, not G, H, comma, 2, comma, blue. There we go. All right, so now we're going to be doing two more end commands right there. Program 7, enter. There we go. All right, now we are officially done with, let me see if we're done with all the for loops. We still have a couple more we still have one or two more for loops in the program, but we're done with the tedious for loops. This was the most tedious part of the game. You guys are in for a treat because we're only 1/4 through the entire program. 1/4 of the entire program is just drawing the freaking screen. So if we actually exit the program, we press second mode, and we actually execute snake CE, press enter and press enter, and let's just say 0. Look at that. That's all that did. All of that programming just drew the borders for the screen. Isn't that just crazy how that much effort just goes into squares? Like, so what are you programming? Programming some squares. Like, you know, it's really silly. But let's press program, go back to edit, and we're going to go back down to snake CE. All right. And if you guys, I'm going to probably post it at probably the beginning of the video. I'll let you guys know, though, again, if it's already in the beginning of the video. If you guys have any graphing issues at all, basically, like, let's say, you know, this is what the graph actually looks like now. And if you guys try to plot points in regular class, you guys aren't going to be able to utilize your graph. Basically, you're going to go and reset to the defaults. So I'll show you guys how to do that real quick. You're going to press second, and you're going to press plus for memory. All right. And then you're going to scroll down to resets. All right. And then you're just going to reset the RAM to defaults. So scroll down to defaults, press enter, and then press reset. Okay, the defaults are now set. Don't clear the RAM. That will clear your entire program. But anyway, if you go back to graph, see, now the graph is back to normal, which is kind of neat because, like, if you ever accidentally mess that up, you could just go back and reset to the defaults. All right, so now we're going to go back to the editor on Snake CE. Let's scroll down. And we're going to go ahead and continue the program here. So now I'm basically calling this part 2 of the program. This is where we're actually going to be programming the actual snake. So now we're just going to be storing a bunch of variables. And this part's pretty easy. The next 8 lines are really, really easy. All right. So we're going to say 0 store G. Okay. We're going to say 1 store C. All right. So I'm going to be explaining what the variables mean as we go along. So basically, the G command is going to be used for user input. So whenever you press a key, that's actually going to be stored in the G command. The C command, that's going to be the win or lose Boolean. So whenever the snake hits a wall or whenever the snake runs into itself, it's going to turn C into 0. And if C is 0, that's how the game is going to lose. All right, we're going to say 1 store S. And that is going to be the score. Press enter. We're going to say 3 store X. That's going to be the X coordinate of the snake. We're going to press 16 store Y. That's going to be the Y coordinate of the snake. We're going to say 16 store V. That's going to be the coordinate of the actual tail of the snake. All right. The Y coordinate of the tail of the snake. We're going to say 3 store U. That's going to be the X coordinate of the tail of the snake. All right, we're going to say 2 store D. Let me see what D was again. D was the direction of the snake. All right. And then the last variable is 0 store T. And T is basically it basically checks the program to make sure that the snake doesn't run into itself, hasn't eaten any food. Basically, If T is 0, the program will the snake will actually move. If T is 1, then something has to happen for the snake to either die or eat food or something like that. T is basically the guardian of the program to make sure the snake is doing okay. Basically, that's basically the best way to put it. So now we're going to be using the command called del var. And I'll show you guys where that is. Press second and then press 0. All right, and now we're in the catalog. You're going to be pressing X minus 1, all right, right there. And that actually takes us to the D's. And we're going to scroll down to del var. Come on, del var. Oh, wait, did I pass it? I did, I passed it. You guys are probably like, you just passed it. All right, so we're going to del var, and we're going to press second. And we're going to be pressing matrix right there and matrix A. So we're going to basically be deleting the variable matrix A. And if matrix A is already deleted, it will just redelete it. You know, it's not really a big it's a really simple command. It just deletes a variable. Now we're going to be doing open curly bracket. So press second and press parenthesis. Now that's open curly brackets. And we're going to say 19 comma 19. And we're going to be storing that into the dimension of matrix A. So basically, matrix A's dimensions is now 19 by 19. Matrix A is now a 19 by 19 array, if that makes sense to you guys. All right. So 1919 store, and we're going to say dimension. So press second, X minus 1 matrix. Scroll over to math. Scroll down to number 3, dim. That stands for dimension. And now we're going to say matrix A. So second, X minus 1, enter. There we go. So now the matrix A's dimensions is 19 by 19. Okay. The next line is going to be a 4. All right. So we're going to press program. We're going to press the number 4. And we're going to say F15. So F, comma, 1, comma, 5. Press enter. The next command's a really cool command. It's called random integer. So press math, scroll over to probability, and scroll down to number 5, random integer. The lower is going to be 1, press enter. The upper is going to be 19, press enter, enter, enter. So random integer 119, all right, and actually hover over the closing parenthesis and press store, and then press the letter, we're going to do letter O right there. Now we're just going to copy this line. So I wonder if we can copy it like this. We're going to press alpha graph, and we're just going to scroll down to copy line. And then we're going to press alpha graph, and we're going to say paste line below. That's awesome. Now we're also going to say random integer 119 and turn this one into P. Basically, this is the coordinate of the food. So O and P is going to be the coordinates of the actual food. Press enter. And we're going to say 5 store matrix A. So second, X minus 1, enter, 5 store matrix A, open parenthesis, and we're going to say OP. O, comma, P, and P right there. All right, press enter. Now we're going to be using a point on commands to basically display a point on the actual graph or on the actual graphing screen. All right, so now we're going to be pressing second program. Points, point on, and we're going to say P plus 5, comma, O, comma, 2, comma, red. And this is actually going to be the apple right there. So that's basically going to be putting a point on the actual graphing screen, and that's going to be the apples that we're going to need to eat. And then now you're going to press program, and you're going to scroll down to end and press enter. And that basically ends the actual for loop. So now press enter. So that part's done. Basically what this for loop is doing is it's actually putting the food on the screen. So there you go. All right, now the next line, we are now on line 45, 43 it looks like. Let me actually do this real quick. Yes, we're going to be on line 43 now. So we're almost halfway through the program. You guys are doing a really good job. And now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be programming we're going to be programming the actual loop of the snake. So now we're into the fun stuff here. All right. So we're going to be press program and scroll down to number 5, while. And we're going to say while C, And then we're going to say the and. So press second. Oh, don't press Y equals, please. I'm going to go back to the editor real quick. Look at how much code you guys programmed already. That's crazy. All right, so we're going to say while C. Press second, and then press math right there. And scroll over to logic and press enter on and. We're going to say while C and. We're going to say G doesn't equal. So press second math. And then scroll down to number 2. Press enter. G doesn't equal 45. Basically what this is saying is that while the snake is alive and the user doesn't press clear. So right there. So G, because remember G is where the user input is stored, the button. And 45 is actually the value of clear. And just a really quick thing, if you guys want to know this, this is 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. And then this is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, 71, 81, 91, 101, 102, 103, 104, and enter's value is 105. Basically, it's just a grid. So 45 is the actual value of clear. So if I say, oh, what's the value of cosine? You're going to count 11, 21, 31, 41, 51, 52, 53. Cosine's button value is 53, which is pretty interesting. The entire calculator has actual values. It's really interesting. All right, press enter. We're going to say 4, so press program, scroll down to number 4. We're going to say 4b, comma, 1, comma, z. There we go. Press enter and press program 7 for the end command. And that is actually going to be the speed of the actual program. Because at the beginning, if you guys don't remember, if you guys do or don't remember, it says higher or slower speed, and you guys can actually pick a number. This right here, this for loop is the Z is the number you typed in. So if you typed in 100, it's going to go through this loop 100 times before it goes to the rest of the program. And what that does is it actually slows down the program. The higher the number, so if this calculator has to go through this for loop a million times, it's going to take a long time for the program to, continue running, because every time that every time this command, this for loop gets touched, it has to go through it X whatever times, Z times, so yeah, it's very interesting. All right, so now we are on line 46. We're going to say point on. So we're going to be using the point on command. So press second, program, point, enter, and that's point on. We're going to say X plus 5, comma, Y, comma, 2, comma, and we're going to say green. So press program, scroll over to color, and green. And that's going to be the color of the actual snake. You can actually change that color to whatever you want the snake to be, but I'm just using green for demonstration purposes. Now we're going to copy this line, all right? So we're going to press alpha graph, and we're going to copy line, and then we're going to press alpha graph and press paste line below. All right, so now a lot of it's similar. We're going to say U instead of X, so change this one to U, and then change this one to V right here. And then we're going to change this last one to black instead of green. So press program, scroll over to color, and press black. This black right here has to be the same color as the actual background. So basically, I don't know if you guys remember, towards the beginning of the video, we said background on 12. That 12 value is black. If you guys make that 11 or 13 or whatever, you're going to have to match this color right here to whatever background color you make it. So if the background is blue, you're going to make that black blue. And then if the background is green, make it green, red, red, yellow, yellow, etc. All right, press enter. Now we're going to be using an if command. So press programs, press enter on if, and we're going to say if matrix A. So press second, and then remember X minus 1. Enter. So if matrix A, and we're going to say open parenthesis Y comma X, close parenthesis is greater than. So press second math, and then scroll down to number 3 is greater than, and we're going to say 1, press enter. We're going to say then, so press program, scroll down to number 2, press enter on then. We're going to press enter. We're going to say S plus 1, store S, and that basically adds 1 to the score. And then we're going to say 0 store T on the next line, so 0 store T. And remember that T was to check that make sure the snake was okay. So basically, T is now, we're going to be turning 0 to T because the snake actually ate some food. And now, towards the lower in the program, I'm going to be explaining you guys what T is actually going to be used for, but we're just going to store 0 into T right now. All right. And now we're going to be using a while loop. So we're going to press program, press 5, and we're going to say matrix A, and we're going to say open parenthesis O comma P, and then we're going to say close parenthesis not equal to. So press second math, and then enter on number 2, and we're going to say 0. So while matrix A, coordinates OP doesn't equal 0, press enter. Now, basically, this while loop is going to be generating new food. The reason why I have AOP doesn't equal 0 is because the matrix has certain values, and we're basically using different values for different parts of the matrix. So the snake's value, I'm pretty sure is, if I look on here, it looks like that the food's value is 5 in the matrix. And let's see, I'm trying to see what the snake is. It looks like, let's see, matrix. Do you guys actually, okay. So basically, the snake actually has 4 different values, and the values represent the direction of the snake. So if the snake is going east, then the direction is, let's see, 24. So basically, I'll show you guys a little bit lower in the actual program, but basically, the matrix values, the matrix has values, and basically how the values are chosen is the direction of the snake, and then the food's value is 5, it looks like. So, pretty interesting. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next line. It looks like we are on line. All right, we're on line 52, so we're pretty much halfway through the program. We are now going to say random integer, so press math, scroll over to probability, scroll down to number 5, random integer, press enter. The lower and upper is actually going to be 19, so just press paste. And then we're going to press store, and we're going to say O right there. And we're actually going to copy this line, so press alpha graph, and then press copy line, press enter, and then press alpha graph and press paste line below. Right there. So we made a duplicate, and then instead of this one being O, it's actually going to be P. Right there. All right, there we go. Press enter. And now we're going to say end. So press program 7 for end. All right, so now we're done with that. The new food is now generated. So now we're going to be saying 5 store matrix A and OP. So open parenthesis O comma P. There we go. And what that does is it actually sets the matrix value, whatever O and P is. So it could be that it's that random integer. It's setting it to 5 because 5 is the value of food in the matrix. So now press enter. Now we're going to say point on. So press second program point on. And we're going to say P plus 5. We're going to say comma O, comma 2, comma red. So press program and color red. So pretty much we're programming the food still, and now it's basically displaying the actual food now. So now since the food value is set, now it's just going to be displaying it. All right, press enter, and now we're going to be using an if command. So we're going to say if. We're going to say matrix A, open parenthesis y comma x, close parenthesis. Doesn't equal 5, so press second math for not equal to 5. and we're going to say or, so press second math, scroll over to logic and press enter on or. And then we're going to say S is greater than or equal to, so press second math, scroll down to greater than or equal to, and we're going to say 200. All right, press enter. We're going to say 0 store C, press enter, and then press program 7. And basically what these two lines do is basically, well, that obviously is the food, but this line right here, it's basically saying if the snake runs into itself, or if it runs into a wall, or the score is greater than 200, it's going to store 0 into C. And remember that C was the win-lose Boolean. So basically, now since this line right here is actually going to make the snake die. All right, so press enter. And this end command, it looks like that it was for the... Wow. It looks like it was for the if command, a little bit higher. It was for like the if matrix A, Y, X. Anyway, though, let's continue with our code. All right, so now we're on the user input. So now we're on line 61. Now we're in user input. So we're 60% done with the program. Good job, you guys. All right, so now we're going to say if G, we're going to say get key. So press program, scroll over to IO, scroll down to number 7, press enter on get key. And we're going to store that into G, press enter, and we're going to say if G equals 24. So if G equals 24. And we're going to say and, so press second math and scroll over to logic, press enter. And we're going to say and D doesn't equal 2. There we go. You guys can pause if you guys really need to, because it's a pretty tedious, thing right there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to copy the line. So press alpha graph. We're going to press copy line. And now we're going to make sure that you're now hovered over the last part. We're going to press enter. And we're going to say alpha graph, paste line below. Now press enter, paste another line below. Press enter, and then paste one more line below. All right, and I left these spaces on purpose because we're going to have to use those as commands too. All right, so now go back up in between the first two and say for store D. All right, press enter, and now we're going to change this to 25. And we're going to change this to 1, all right? And then go down and say 3 store D. Go down to G equals 26 and change the D value to 4 on there. And then say 2 store D. And then we're going to change this one to 34. So 3. And then we're going to change this D value to 3. Press enter. And we're going to say 1 store D. Basically, this is the user input. So if G equals 24, or if the left arrow gets pressed, the direction is 4, the direction is 3, the direction is 2. No, the direction is 1 if you go up, the direction is 2 if you press this arrow, and then the direction is 3 if you press the down arrow, it looks like. I think so. No, the direction is 1 if you press it. It's kind of, you guys can basically figure it out. It's 25, 24, 25, 26, and then 34. So those are the values of the arrows. Anyway, we're going to be saying if G equals 45. So press program. If, actually, no, skip that. I need to actually take that out of my source code. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're on line 70. So we are pretty much at the home stretch here. There's still a lot to go, but we're a lot farther than we were. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say D store matrix A, open parenthesis, Y comma X. All right. And press enter. And now we're going to be doing some pretty interesting commands here. All right. We're going to say X plus open parenthesis, D equals 2, close parenthesis, minus, open parenthesis, D equals 4, close parenthesis, not close parenthesis, store X, because the store arrow actually closes all parentheses it needs to, which is pretty cool. Press enter, and we're now going to say y plus, open parenthesis, d equals 3, close parenthesis, minus, open parenthesis, d equals 1, close parenthesis, and not close parenthesis, store y. There we go. And then now press enter. And now we're going to say, this line is actually going to be one of the longest lines in the games, it looks like, but it's not too bad. We're going to press if, we're going to go to if, and we're going to say y is greater than 19. And we're going to say or. And we're going to say y is less than 1. And we're going to say or x is greater than 19. And then we're gonna say or. And then we're gonna say x is less than 1. And we're gonna press enter, and we're gonna say 0 store c. So basically that's saying that if the snake runs into the walls, it's 0. Remember, 0 store c means that the snake dies. So then that basically means that the snake's gonna die if it runs into the walls. All right, now we're on line 76, it looks like. So now we're more than 75% done with the program, which is really good, you guys. I need to edit my code a little bit here. There we go. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and, let's see, 0 store c. All right, now we're going to say if t equals 1. So if t equals 1. So now this is that t value. If you guys remember from the beginning of the program, I told you guys that the variable t, was going to check to make sure that the snake is doing okay. You know, to make sure that, to check to see if it's eaten food or if, you know, something's happened to the snake. This is what t is used for now. We're going to say then, press enter. We're going to say matrix A. And then we're going to say v, comma, u, store k. Press enter. And then we're going to say 0, store matrix A, vu. All right. We're just going to type it out. I'll tell you guys what it means in a couple seconds. And then now we're going to say u plus, not 5. We're going to say u plus k equals 2, close parenthesis, minus k equals 4, store u, enter, and then we're going to say v plus, open parenthesis, k equals 3, close parenthesis, minus k equals 1. Open parenthesis, there we go, k equals 1, store v, press enter, and then press end. There we go. So basically it's saying that if t equals 1, then it's going to take matrix A, and remember that vu was the, I'm trying to think what, that vu, oh, here we go. This is the tail. T stands for tail. That's what it was. Delete everything I said earlier in the video about T. That's why I called it T, because T stands for tail. So basically, if tail equals 1, or if T equals 1, then it's going to basically change the value of the tail. The reason why that sometimes why t needs to be a variable is because if t equals 0, then that means that the snake ate food. Therefore, this code doesn't need to run, because then it's going to make the snake as if it's never grown. Right here, this right here is preventing the snake from growing without eating. You know, because like if you don't eat and grow, that makes no sense, right? Basically, what this does is it kind of makes sure that that doesn't happen. Makes sure that the snake doesn't grow without our permission, without eating food, pretty much. So that's what T stands for. All right, so press enter. Okay, and now we're going to say 1 store T. Press enter. And we're going to say end. And looks like that is the end of the actual loop of the code. So technically, you don't need any more code, but we are going to display the score to make so that the user knows what the score is, okay? Press enter. We're going to press program 8 for pause. And what that does is it actually is going to pause the program until you press enter so that you can see what your snake looks like when it died. All right. And then now we're going to press clear home. So program, clear home. Oh, that's pause. Clear home. Now we're going to say output, game over. So output, game over. We're actually going to output 4, 5. 4, comma, 5, comma, game over. Over. And then we're going to say enter. We're going to say if s is greater than or equal to 200. Enter. And we're going to say output right there. And we're going to say output 4, 5. You win. And we're going to do exclamation points. And exclamation points is under the math screen. So press math, scroll over to probability, and scroll down to number 4. And then we're going to do another one. And basically, if the user hits 200, it's going to display you win instead of game over. And press enter. Now we're going to say output 5, 5. So program output 5, comma 5, comma, and then we're going to say score. So open quotes, score. And then we're going to put a colon, press enter. And now we're going to say output 5, comma 12, comma s, press enter. Now we're going to, press, I wonder if we should, so press pause. So program 8, pause. Actually, you know what? Let's get rid of the pause. We don't need that. We're going to press recall GBD 0. So we're going to go to second and then press zoom for format. And we're going to recall. Oh, never. That's not in there. Remember, it's under draw. Press second program. Scroll over to store. And we're going to press recall GBD. And we're going to say 0. That basically, remember, recalls the settings that the calculator was at before the program started. We're going to say background off. So now press second zoom. And we're going to turn the background off right there. And then now we're going to say axes on. So press second zoom. And we're going to turn the axes back on right there. And that basically pretended like these last 3 lines pretended as if the program never happened. It's just going to reset the graph back to normal. So now we're going to exit the program. So press second mode and let's give it a shot and see if it works. Hopefully I made no typos. Hopefully you made no typos. If you made a typo, you're definitely going to run into an error. Just put that out there. That's why I'm posting the source code in the description so you guys can literally pinpoint exactly where you messed up. All right, press enter, enter. All right, so far so good. We're going to say speed 0. Here we go. It looks like it's going. Okay, we're going to test the food out real quick. It looks like it's working. All right, so now we're going to play a little bit, and I'm going to die and see if, if there's no issues or anything like that. I'm going to run into myself on purpose to make sure. Boop, there we go. Oh, yeah, nice. It's hard to run into yourself when the snake is going this fast. I know a lot of, oh, there we go, we died, okay. I know a lot of you guys have even faster calculators than me for some reason. So now, basically, what you're going to do is you're going to press enter, because now it's saying, oh, this is how you died, now press enter. Ah, that is perfect. Game over, score 7. So our score was 7. Let's go ahead and run into ourselves and make sure that it actually works. So I need to grow a little bit. And then right after this, you guys are good to go. While I'm playing this game, I'll just ask you guys to leave a like and a sub. If you guys really enjoyed the video, if you guys had no typos, put in the comments if you got it first try. That would be amazing if you got the program perfect the first try. Other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day. Oh, there we go. We die. Press enter. There we go. Score 8. Other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day. Thanks guys for watching. Post in the comments if you want any more, if you have any video ideas, because like I said, I'm starting to run out of video ideas. So post in the comments. I'll see if anything's possible, you know. Other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day. See ya.